Hello, this is Leanne and I'm wanting to show you my proposed changes to the MPIP program. Following our discussions in the management meeting last week, I was required to have a look at this because we have to start including the unit of competency in the internship assessment task. So in doing that, I rejigged everything. So what I've done is made it more of an interactive program. But the problem is that it requires more trainer interaction, so there will be a cost associated with that. So I just wanted to show you the changes that I've made. Each topic has a book where it introduces the topic. They have to do their participant handbook sign-off, which is pretty standard, and look at our privacy policy. There's the orientation section. So each section has the booklet that introduces the topic. This is all about the MyNav CV and how they'll go along to use that. There's a resource centre for the MyNav CV to help them build their resume, and there's somewhere for them to upload their resume. So I don't know who is responsible for that, whether it's the CV mentor or whether it becomes the trainer's responsibility moving ahead for them to mark the resume as competent and to provide feedback on that. But that's one area that would require trainer input if we move ahead with more trainer involvement. So what I've done is I've repeated the structure. I've got the topic information. And the topic information, it's just a brief summary. I've got some videos that relate to the topic, and then I've got them outlining what assessment tasks have to be done, and this is where I've expanded it. So I've told them they have to read the resources. They need to do a choice activity. A choice activity is really just a thought-provoking question. In this case, I brought in the Brodie's Law case study, and no one has to mark this. It's really just a choice question. They can save their choice to answer that question. So it requires them to do a little bit of study, I suppose, some learning. Once they've done the choice question, then they have to do the discussion forum. So a discussion forum is, again, an activity. They have to respond. In this case, they have to talk about what it is about Australian workplace culture that they find interesting or challenging, and tell us in 50 to 100 words what their first experience is and how they'll manage the differences in the Australian workplace. So the idea is that they would add a discussion topic here, and a trainer or someone would have to come in and respond to whatever they post there to provide feedback as to whether it was a suitable answer or whether they would provide feedback and ask further delving questions to get the students to further reflect on the discussion forum topic. So that's the choice question, that's the discussion forum, and then what I've got them doing is what's called a blog or a wiki. So this requires them to reflect. So they reflect on the variety of resources. They have to go through the resources and tell us which one they found the most useful and why. What did they think would be the most challenging during their internship? How will they ensure they work within our WHS regulations, and how they could discourage discrimination? So this is 400 words, so it's meant to be about self-reflection on the topics that they've learnt. So that's basically the format for every unit. The first unit is Australian workplace culture, and then lastly they have to do a quiz, which I've changed to be at least 10 questions. I think before we had about 4 questions. These are self-marking and don't require the trainer input. So going back to topic 1, we've got a booklet with some information which I hope to build on as we build our resources. The resource centre, which is really just the original resource centre, any resources we've got relating to that topic, and web links that we have. So they're required to go off and do their own reading. That is really not guided by a trainer, so the input by the trainer is in the discussion forum and it's in the self-reflection. So there's really 2 areas there for that each student, the trainer would have to come in and respond to the post there. Does it need to be a trainer that responds? That's probably debatable. Could it be a CV mentor? Yes, possibly. Because it's not accredited, they don't have to have the TAE, so Certificate 4, so we possibly could use a full-time staff member to be doing that, but I think the response is required. We can't just have the students post without anybody coming in to acknowledge that they posted. Element 2 is, as you required, communication, teamwork and diversity, same thing. Topic information, resource centre, a discussion forum. So there's a discussion forum, there's a choice question, there's a self-reflective blog and a quiz. So the discussion forum, again, about 4 questions, getting them to reflect on the topic, answer some questions in the blog. Probably we'll put a minimum of 400 words in there so we get some decent answers. There's a quiz or the choice question, again, no trainer input, but just thought-provoking question really about the topic at hand. And then there's a self-reflective blog. I put 400 words in here, 4 questions. Again, what resource did you find useful and why? And just some questions related to the unit. And then there's a quiz, at least 10 questions related to the unit. I think before we had 4. So remember in MPIP all they had to do before was just 4 questions. In each quiz there was no other learning process that took place. There was access to the resource centre and that was it. So then element 3, lastly, build your personal brand, same format. So we've got a discussion forum, we've got a quiz, a choice question rather, we've got a self-reflective blog and a quiz. This discussion forum is about telling them to go off and attend a networking event and tell us about it. Thought-provoking choice question. Okay, and then a self-reflective blog, 400 words. So this is, reflecting on how they're going to build their personal brand, and a quiz that's got about 10 questions again. So that was my minimum. So the idea, there's a learning methodology there where they have to go and read, do research, they have to, apply some of their learning in a discussion forum, share their ideas, they have to think about it with a quiz, a choice question, and they have to self-reflect on an activity. So, and then there's the quiz. So it's a little bit more padded out than what it was. It probably could be a lot better. And we could probably, I've just played around with these discussion forums and the quizzes. We could probably build on that content and get input from the trainers as we build that content. I'd love to be able to have the learner guide created, as Lynette, you mentioned, getting some resources developed. So at this point in time, the major change is that I'm going to need input from a trainer/CV mentor to monitor these forums. That whoever it is would receive an email every time a student posts, and they would have to respond accordingly. And the idea is that they would respond with constructive criticism. So they do need a certain skill level. And then lastly, there's the unit of competency, this internship assessment that has been put in there without change. That can only be completed during the 12-week internship. So at this point of time, what I'm seeking is feedback on this new format. I think, just with the discussions I had with the Brisbane crew, that I think the BDs would like to sell this product more, so you probably will get more sales. And we could certainly build on this content to make it more rich as well. So let me know what you think and whether I should just take it back to be self-sufficient online without the trainer interaction. But I think it lends itself to a richer learning environment for our online students as well. Okay, I think that's about it. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks, bye.